just give us a idea as to how the manner of last week's victory has done for the side first.
It was, we were pleased. We went about the game in the manner that we intended from the beginning. We applied the plan that we put in place, and we thought we were in good control of the game throughout. And then it was pleasing that we played through the 80 minutes.
It's obviously a learning process as the season goes along for you, isn't it? What more did you learn about the side from last week?
Always a learning process. That's the mentality we're trying to generate, is that everything's a learning experience for us, and looking to improve and be more aware of how we do things. I don't know what I learned last week. I think I probably just confirmed that there's a high level of skill and belief in the group, and that's the way we played.
We'll see the squad tomorrow. How different could the 17 look on Saturday?
Not very different. We're with the suspensions at the moment, we're limited to what we can choose from, but it's always about who is playing and not who isn't. So we'll be there to compete on Saturday.
Can you just give us an insight into the rationale behind Jack Walker's loan move?
Yeah, Jack needs to be playing. He's missed a bunch of time, and he's been training well. But at this stage, Hardacre and Myler have both done us a good job at fullback in recent times. So it makes sense for everyone to get Jack playing some footy.
I think there's a perception possibly from outside that you're making space to bring someone in. Is that the case?
The Jack move to Hull is about getting Jack opportunity to play. That's the intention there.
So there's no one will come in ahead of Saturday?
Nobody will come in ahead of Saturday, no.
Your first Magic weekend, obviously it's a concept that's been adopted down under. What are your thoughts on it broadly?
Oh, I'm a rugby league nut, so the concept of having a whole heap of games in one place back to back is exciting, and it's great for us to be part of that. But for fans, it's it's great. You get there before your team or stay after your team, and you get to watch more rugby. So it's a great concept, and it's good that the NRL have followed suit as well.
What are you expecting from Castleford then?
Oh, I'm expecting a team full of confidence and belief. They've knocked off some high-performing teams in recent times. So they're going to be full of belief. They're a good team. We're expecting a lot.
You're wearing the shirt, the Magic shirt. It's designed around Rob. It's designed by his children as well, and obviously Macy and Mayer are going to lead the side out on Saturday. Just give us an idea as to how emotional that's going to be for all involved.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's going to be very emotional. Even myself, I've only been here a short period of time, but obviously following Rob's career from afar, and in my earlier coaching days, coaching against the Rhinos, and Rob being such a great player and defied everything to do what he did. Was phenomenal as a player. But when Kev pushed him up in the 10K on Sunday, like when he came past me, for me it was, really shook me and made me realize like what we're representing here as a club. We're representing all of those that have come before us, and trying to keep things going. It's really hard to explain. But what the impact that Rob's had on the club and the whole city really is phenomenal. So we want to do him justice and his family justice, and we're looking forward to his little girls coming to explain. They're going to explain to the boys about the jersey and talk about the design and that stuff on Saturday. So we look forward to sharing the day with Rob and his family.
I think last week was sort of billed as a very important game, and I know you want just to focus on game by game, but have you allowed yourself to look at the league table and sort of assess the magnitude potentially of this game, particularly if you can get a win, and what it would do to the playoff picture?
I haven't looked at the table myself. I understand Cast are ahead of us, and there's 2 points up for grabs this weekend. So that's the priority for us, is to play well, and if we play well, we believe we'll be fair chance of winning.
It's no secret that they've got a few issues within their spine at the minute. McShane's suspended, Truman's done his ACL, Ryan Hampshire's done his ACL, Gareth O'Brien not being around for a while. In terms of as analysing the opposition, how difficult is it for you to do that this week without really knowing what their spine could look like?
Yeah, it's hard for us to be definitive about what their team's going to be until we see a squad list, and we'll be able to try and piece the jigsaw together there a little bit. But most teams are playing a similar way from week to week. It just might be different personnel in those positions. So once we know who's playing, we'll be able to sort of identify what the tendencies of those individuals are. But we're not expecting the team structure or system to be different, overly different. Aside from a few twists and alterations that we all make from week to week, they'll still be the same CAS structure and team, I would imagine.
From your own end, you've got through a week without any disciplinary issues, which is a welcome boost. Obviously, I don't think there was any obvious injury setbacks in the game. Are you looking at being, having that same group of players that played last week available, or is there anyone who's a doubt?
There's a few to get through training today, but our 21-man squad will be. I think there'll only be one change to that from last week. Jack Walker was in that squad last week, so we're pretty much who we are is who we are for right now.
And just finally from me, obviously JD mentioned Jack Walker going out, and you said there'll be no one coming in this week. Are you hoping that you'll be able to make a mid-season addition, having freed up that salary cap space, or is that not really the plan at the minute at all?
I will always be looking to retain and to recruit. Squad roster management is an ongoing process all the time. So we'll be continuing the process day to day and working out what's best going forward.
Just on that subject about people coming in, can I ask you the opposite question? Do you envisage anyone going out? Anyone else going out before the end of the season?
It's the same sort of answer, I guess. If there's opportunity for players to secure their future elsewhere and that benefits us as far as roster management, all things will be considered. We're light on for numbers at the moment, so it's certainly not the intention to lose anyone short term, but it's a case-by-case situation, and that's how we'll be dealing with it.
How close are you to knowing what your best 17 is at the moment? Is that still a work in progress? Very much so. Yeah, we haven't had a full book of players to choose from in my time. So, what the team looks like from week to week will be an evolution as players return from injury and from suspension. And also, from week to week, some players might be the best option for us one week, but the next week, maybe not, based on, lots of different reasons, opposition, picking up a bump or a bruise, or, in some cases, players, it's hard to play at a top level week after week after week. But, everyone in Super League can play well on occasions, or maybe most of the time, but being at your best every week for a whole season is such a huge challenge, and that's what makes the best players the best players. So working out what's best on a weekly basis, I'm not afraid to change a winning team or a team that's performing well. I'd pick what's best for the week. How you've obviously left a couple of players who are regulars in the first team out over the last few games. How have they handled that? Have you been pleased with their attitude they've shown?
Who are you?
Obviously, Suttier against, I think it was Saints and Rod Dwyer a couple of times.
Yeah, well, Sutty came back last week and played a strong game against Hull. He's been going about his work well, and he got himself ready to play, and he took his chance last week. Brad Dwyer's been training very well. He's contributed to the group, and he's there or thereabouts. Yeah, it's a tough decision to leave experienced players out, but that's also it's a positive for us as a squad and as a club to have choices to make.
Just on Cass, obviously it's your first Leeds Cass derby. Are you aware of the rivalry between the two clubs, and do you like that sort of thing?
Yeah, I am aware, and to be honest, as a coach, I think everyone's your rival. Every week, I think the stuff I love about the rivalry is that probably the fan based stuff where they get into each other a little bit, and I enjoy the atmosphere and the banter that goes with that stuff.
It's a big weekend, isn't it, for Super League? Are you very much aware of what it means to the fans this Magic weekend?
Yeah, I think it's a great celebration of our competition, to have everyone in one place, and to see the one of the great things about rugby league is crossing paths with people that you've met over the years or you've competed against, and I think it's sort of a festival of rugby league. Is as a fan you couldn't think of anything better. As a coach, you got to try and put the emotion aside, but enjoy the experience at the same time.
When you met Cass last time, it was obviously just before your appointment. It was on the back of Easter weekend, which is always difficult, isn't it, when you play two games in such a short space of time? Are you expecting it to be a lot different this time?
Yeah, I would say both teams are going to be fresh, and probably both teams are in a different position as far as how we've both been playing. I'm expecting a cracking contest, and really looking forward to being part of it.
And just on the progress that you have made, how pleased are you with the results since your appointment? Given that you 7 out of the first 8 games have resulted in defeats, it's a big turnaround, really, isn't it?
I don't think any coaches are ever too pleased, to be honest. We're always looking for more results or better performances. I've really enjoyed the attitude of the players, and they've been willing to adopt a different approach, and they're enjoying themselves and they're working hard, and that's I'm always respectful of the players that go out there to battle. It's a really, really hard sport, and for them to do what they do each week is difficult. So I'm super respectful for them going through that process and adopting some different ideas and a different way of doing things. They've been very respectful of that, and I've enjoyed the process, and I hope they have as well.
And just finally, for me, you said earlier that you haven't really looked at the table, but you can rest assured that the fans have, and these points are pretty important to them, aren't they?
Every game's vital for me as a coach. Like, I'm doing everything I can every week for us to try and win. Looking at the table and stuff doesn't benefit my process. To me, no game is more important than another. This one is very, very important in lots of different ways. The latter being one of them, but certainly, being respectful of the whole weekend, Magic weekend, of Rob and his family, and there's lots of reasons to play well this week, and next week there'll be lots of reasons to play well next week. But we're very much focused on this weekend and the opportunity that's ahead.
Just a couple of really quick ones on Jack Walker. Did you have to think carefully about strengthening a playoff rival, or was it player first in this case?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. It had to be player first, and Jack needs to be playing, so that decision overrode things. Yeah,
and does he very much still have a future at the club, even though at the moment Myler and Hardacre are above him in the pecking order?
Yeah, Jack's just gone on loan to get some games under his belt and to compete and to do what he's a rugby player and he needs to be playing. So now that he's back available for selection, he needed to be playing. So, that's where things are at for now.
Yeah, I think he's under contract for next year as well. Do you envisage him seeing that contract out?
Yeah, Jack's just on loan. So when his loan's done, he'll be back with us.